Here we go. We need to call out the racism in this family because they continue to disrespect Black Americans and try to label it and disguise it as something totally different. Okay. Because the LA Times recently published an article, and it's not as recent as most people think, but it sparked outrage within the LSU women's basketball team. The article targeted, even though it kind of gave a very broad spectrum of, Angel Reese being a villain or the LSU basketball team being the dirty debutantes or they're the Louisiana hot sauce, all these terms that indiscriminately describe Black folk in some way, either directly or indirectly. I know a lot of people have been popping up, and I didn't pop this up yet, family, but if you pop up dirty debutantes, okay, dirty debutantes, and I've been saying this all over the internet. If you pop up the term, dirty debutantes, did you guys know that porn pops up right underneath the main title of the article? Look at this, family. That's not the one I want to show you. Let me add this to the stage. Here we go. So when you're looking at this and you type in dirty debutantes, the first thing that pops up is Pornhub, X Video. All of these are porn sites. So this is some of the sexism that they were referring to when they were talking about sexualizing the LSU basketball team, but directly and mainly Angel Reese. And this is where they're kind of getting it from by labeling the entire team as dirty debutantes. Okay, as dirty debutantes. This is the issue that our women are facing, because when you look at the makeup of the Iowa team, if you look at the makeup of the UCLA team, those teams are the starters are majority white, whereas though the LSU team, majority of the starters are Black. So not even understanding the racial construct, people can easily make a comparison of what they're referring to. Okay, they can easily make this a sort of thing. But yeah, they were targeting the LSU basketball team by the way of Angel Reese, and they're making baseless claims and perpetuating harmful stereotypes. And family, it's clear that this piece was not only irresponsible journalism, but also a blatant attack on Black athletes, especially women Black athletes, especially the LSU team. And here's the thing. Now, the writer of this hit piece, the writer of this attack against the LSU women's basketball team, the writer that was showing his racism, his anti-Blackness, his name is Ben Balch. Now, a lot of people may be going at Ben, but family, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. This is a LA Times problem. This is a LA Times issue because they go through all these writer editorials where people review it and they look over it and they write. If you ever wrote anything and try to get it published, there's at least 2 to 3 people before it's released to the public that screens your writing, screens your book, your novel, your article, your journal, whatever it may be. And then they approve it for public release. So this is not just the racism of Ben Bosch, but this is the racism of LA Times as well. Then some people like Stephen A. Smith will come out and say, well, if it was a more neutral news publication. But listen, family, you have the same old Sambos tap dancing for the white puppet paymasters that this was about. We either be Stephen A. or Emmanuel Immigrant Ocho. All of these people. Then you have people like Officer Tatum that's coming out and speaking up and supporting people like Emmanuel Ocho, like, oh, I agree with them. See, here's the thing. These young ladies, and especially Angel Reese, she's only 21 years of age. I don't believe she's 22 yet. But nonetheless, these are young ladies. And we are attacking our young, beautiful, intelligent Black women doing great things. But we have these Sambos and Coons that's stepping out in order to take the shots for their white paymasters by the way of LA Times. And these things must be continually called out, family. because the article, it failed to prove, okay, the article failed to prove and failed to provide any substantial evidence to support the claim, relying instead on harmful generalizations and biased narratives against our people. This kind of reporting not only undermines the hard work and dedication of the LSU women's basketball team and their star Angel Reese, but it also continuously perpetuates harmful stereotypes that have no place in our society today. And this is why I've been covering the media so strongly and telling you that the media is propaganda. It's either constructive or non-constructive, the truth or its lies. It's painted a very vivid picture to once again perpetuate these stereotypes against Black folks. And I'm loving all the new Black media that's coming out, because it's very important to call out and challenge these kinds of achievements. These kinds of achievements from our very talented young Black ladies. Now, Angel Reese and her teammates, they deserve to be celebrated for their hard work and talent, not torn down by baseless accusations. And I'm gonna tell you right now, family, we stand in solidarity with Angel Reese and the entire LSU women's basketball team against the unjust and harmful attack that started on the court, believe it or not. And see, here's the thing, family. Here's the thing. This started off as two athletes warring against each other on the court. Caitlin Clark kind of did the hand you can't see me because she was, going off on a tear. She's a very good shooter. And then during that same, I don't believe it was the same game, but during the game against LSU, Angel Reese said, she's going to get the ring. And they did win the NCAA Women's Championship last year. Okay. And she also gave her the hand wave. But the LA Times writer, Ben Balch, LA Times, blew this up more than what it's supposed to be. Let's get into this, family. We're gonna break this down more so. I know I'm starting here early for you guys that's getting to work, or maybe you guys took the day off like my wife. All right, let's get right into it, family. So, LA Times challenge comments, the UCLA LSU game, sweethearts versus villains. So, again, this is the old slave narrative, whites against Black. It never fails, family. And they always saying Black people always talking about race. Black people always talking about race. You know what? Because we're very blatant, we're very straightforward, not playing any games where you guys try to behind guise of certain lexicon words that you may use to describe your racism. And we're just gonna call it out. Here it is. That's what it states here, family. In the last 24 hours, Los Angeles Times backtracked on a column, America's Sweetheart versus its basketball villains, written by Ben Balch, that took aim. All right, here we go. We got pop-ups and give me a second, family. Get back to where I was. It says they took aim at the Lady Tigers. In the original column, Ben Balch used the word villains to describe the LSU women's basketball team. And this is Angel Reese talking right here. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit more for you guys can see it. I'll take the real vote. And that's what a lot of times Black people do. Oh, I'll be your nigga. Oh, yeah. I'll be that. It's kind of like that song, and I'm not shouting out Burna Boy, but he did have a popular title of one of his songs called The Monster You Made. And that's the first thing that popped into my mind when I saw this, family. The monster you made. I'll take the villain role. I'll take the hit for it. But I know we're growing women's basketball. And if this is the way we're going to do it, this is the way we're going to do it, right? So she kind of took it on the chin. She tried to flip it In my opinion, she made it more positive than just being called a villain, right? And at first, I don't think she thought it was racially charged until you really scan the entire article, family. Until you really scan the entire article, there was a lot said here. In one of his Twitter, one of his tweets, the article starts by saying, "This isn't just a basketball game. It's a reckoning." And this is not between Iowa at the time. This is not between Iowa and LSU. This is between UCLA and LSU. And it says, "It's a reckoning. Picking sides goes well beyond school allegiances." What are they talking about? What are they referring to when they're stating this? Hold on. When they're stating that the allegiances go far beyond school allegiances, what does that mean? Why is this outside of the basketball realm? What are we talking about, family? It says it goes well beyond school allegiances. You see what some people may allude to, and people in that community, that racist community, they already know what he was talking about. That's why he said what he said when he said it. It previously stated, "Do you prefer American sweethearts or as dirty debutantes?" And we already looked up dirty debutantes, family, did we not? And what we saw when we looked up dirty debutantes was all sorts of porn sites. Yeah, I believe last year when Angel Reese, after she won the NCAA women's basketball title, she became very, very popular. But at the same time, people started to attack her. And she was doing some Sports Illustrated swimsuit things that some people deemed that it sexualized her. And this is the reason for these particular comments. Then why haven't all these other athletes been sexualized in the same manner when they did the swimsuit edition? That's the question I have for you guys. Then it states here, can you guys see this? Let me just highlight this for you real quick. It states here is milk and cookies or Louisiana hot sauce. Now, I was listening to Professor Black Truth, and he made a really great comment. He was stating how milk is very bland and that Louisiana hot sauce has flavor. And I'll leave it as that. That was a very powerful statement that our brother made. The second line of the story now reads, "Do you prefer the team that wants to grow women's basketball or the one that's seemingly hell-bent on dividing it?" What? What are they referring to? See, no one was demonizing Caitlin Clark's hand wave. But when Reese did the hand wave and said, we got the chip, we got the ring inside of Caitlin's face, no one had any smoke for her. No one had any smoke for her family. No one had any smoke. No one had any smoke for her. I don't know if you guys noticed that. No one had any smoke. That's what we're talking about today, family. The constant racism in this country is not surprising, but it's so prevalent in the media. We must call these things out for our people to understand how they go about their racism. And I'm reading Ben Balch, his a little segment he made. This isn't just about basketball. This isn't just about basketball. Then what is it about, Ben? And it states, "A previous version of this commentary did not meet Times editorial standards. It has been updated." Very, very interesting. I'm trying to figure out, what do they mean that it's been updated? Like editorial standards. As we started off, family, what we need to understand that all of these articles go through some sort of provision and review board before it is published. And they're stating the reason why it's been removed is because it didn't meet the LA Times editorial standards. So you mean to tell me that 2 to 3 people looked at this, and at that time it met the editorial standards, but because of the outlash and the backlash and people from damn near every community calling out the racism in this very inflammatory racial charged rhetoric, now there's a problem. Here he is. There he is. But I see, again, family, I don't just blame Ben Balch. He wrote it, but LA Times approved it. Now, let me show you his apology really quickly. I didn't really want to show it, but I'm gonna show it, family. I'm gonna show his apology. I'm gonna show his apology. Here it is. This is from his X page or Twitter page, whatever you want to call it. A long overdue apology, all caps. A long overdue apology, all cap, not all caps. Even though he wrote it in uppercase letters, I'm calling all cap. Okay. This is how people try to save their jobs. This is how white racists try to save their jobs when they say things and there's a lot of public backlash. Let me read some of it. It has taken me 2 days to write this apology because I wanted to be as thoughtful as possible in my response to the situation I've created. Ownership. He's taken ownership. These are words I have not been asked to write by anyone at my paper, but they need to be expressed so that I can own up to my mistake. Oh, so no one called out your boss, no supervisor, no friend, no co-worker. Say, hey, Ben, man, it's probably best you apologize. I don't believe the words you stated. Family. He said no one at his job told him to do an apology. That tells you that the LA Times is complicit with his racism. That's what it tells me. Am I eluding myself? Words matter. And as a journalist, no one should know this more than me. Yet I fail miserably in my choice of words. In my column previewing the LSU against UCLA women's basketball game, I try to be clever in my phrasing. Oh, he tried to be clever and hide the racism. What do you mean you try to be clever? See, this is what white supremacists do, family. They try to be clever in everything they do. They try to be clever in everything they do. Because here's the thing: some of you didn't get hired because they realized you were black. You had a basic name. John Johnson. You had a basic name, Rebecca Smith. So the people who are interviewing you or who are reviewing your resume, they're like, Rebecca Smith. Oh, she's white. They call her Becca. And then when and this is how they portray a lot of us. When LaQuisha get on the phone, yeah, this Rebecca. Oh, I didn't, and subconsciously, I didn't know she was black. This is what he's saying, family. This is what it reads to me. Is this my conjecture? Because did he not say, I try to be clever? Right here, family, listen, I try to be clever in my phrasing about one team's attitude. Okay, he had to put attitude, not race. Ben, we can see through the racism, bruh. Using alterations while not understand the deeply offensive connotation or association. This is bullshit. I'm sorry. I know it's Friday, family. You didn't get your what you call it, your happy hour in yet. But family, this is the first form of BS. He's stating that it's about attitudes and that he did not understand his deeply offensive connotation of and associations. And this is coming from the high IQ society. How is it when every time their livelihood is on the line, why is it every time they call out, they say these very racial, inflammatory, charged words that denigrate black folk, all of a sudden they don't understand the social and racial construct in America? Why is that? Why all of a sudden I didn't know I was being racist. It was subconscious. It was implicit bias. I didn't know. I also use metaphors that were not appropriate. Oh, Lord, Ben, said isn't so, Ben. Yeah, you use metaphors that you knew was racially charged to describe black. When you looked at the LSU team, You're like, majority of their starting five is black. When you looked at the UCLA team and when you looked at the our team, everybody is damn near white. So why use those terms? You know why you use those terms. Milk and honey, Louisiana hot sauce, America's sweetheart, the villain, good averse evil, black against white. Just say it, Ben. Just say it. Just say it, Ben. Just say it. This called the Louisiana State University women's basketball team a bunch of niggas. Just say it. Stop playing with black people. Just say it for us. Just say it. Our society has had to deal with so many layers of misogyny, racism, and negativity that I can now see why the words I used were wrong. Family, put CAP in the chat. Someone please put CAP, C-A-P, or the blue cap in the chat, please. Oh my gosh. You know, family, when something occurs with black folk, they blow it all over media and all over social media. And they call us everything except the child of God. They call us thugs. They call us gangsters. They call us woke, whatever the fuck that means when they were talking about it. They call us DEI hires. They call us affirmative action users. They call us welfare recipients. They call us everything. But as soon as they receive backlash, I didn't know what I was doing. Oh, okay. You didn't know what you was doing. Oh, you sorry. Now you sorry. Okay. I use metaphors that were not appropriate. Our society has to deal with so many layers of misogyny, racism, and negativity that I can now see. I can see clearly now they came out against why the words I used were wrong. It was not my intent to be hurtful, but I now understand that I terribly missed the mark. You know what? He's not even a good liar. He's not even a good liar. You know what? I would have had an ounce of respect if Ben would have said, you know, I came out and I said some very hurtful things to the LSU basketball team. And at the time I meant them. And they were racially charged, but I probably shouldn't have said them. I probably should have kept my comments to myself. I just would have had more respect for the guy. Just a little bit, just an ounce. But now he's covering up his cover up. You see, family, he was saying all these racial and sexist inflammatory words, and now he's trying to cover up his cover up by the way of an apology. Oh, now that I know it's racism, I didn't know. You've been with the LA Times since 1999, and you didn't know that the words you said was racist in nature and sexist in nature? You didn't know that, you being a writer for the LA Times for 25 years and you didn't know what the hell you were talking about? This is what we get from the white media. He said, I sincerely apologize to the LSU and the UCLA basketball team and to our readers. UCLA, a school I've covered for nearly a decade, champions diversity, is known as a leader in, oh God. However, I have not held that standard, and what I wrote, I would do much better. I am deeply sorry. You know, and here's the thing, family. I don't think Ben is going to get fired. And if Ben does get fired, he's just going to go to another publication. He's been a journalist for 25 years. He's just going to go to another publication. But this is how they literally just call you the N-word. And until people see the article and give public backlash, they don't come out and say anything against this. This is your boy Ben Bosch, by the way, of LA Times. And LA Times was complicit in this racially charged article that he wrote about the LSU basketball team. They were very complicit. They were very complicit, family. So don't this is not about Ben Bosch, okay? This is about the way of This is by the way of Ben Bosch. This is about LA Times. How they allow this racist mess to even be publicated, okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys the interview that Angel Reese and some of her teammates did, after their loss to Iowa State. And she had to really come out, and people had been attacking this young lady. People, if you ever played sports, if you ever played on the championship squad or on your way to the championship, it's a very emotional time for athletes. Believe me, I know. I played college football, family. I played high school football. I went to a pro stadium. You see, I didn't play pro. I went to a pro stadium. That was a joke. You probably didn't get it. You get on the way home. But let me show you this. Let me show you this very quickly.
She's provided for this team. And Angel, can you just take me through what it meant to see what Flau'jae was able to do in a game like this to, put up 23 points and be a factor on both ends?
Bro, let me tell you something. Everybody can have their opinion on Angel Reese, but y'all don't know her. Like, y'all don't know Angel Reese.
Fair use,
I know
fair
Angel
use,
Reese.
commentary.
I know the real Angel Reese. And the person I see every day is a strong person. Is a caring, loving person, bro. The crown she wears is heavy, bro. She's the type of teammate that's gonna make you believe in yourself. The leap that I took from my freshman to sophomore year, Angel gave me that confidence to go be a dog, playing next to a dog every day. And just to see how the media ridicule her, went through our problems, but like, this is my sister right here, and I'm so proud of her. Like, the media, y'all, how they like to twist and call her a villain and all of that. Y'all don't know Angel, bro. And I'm just happy that I get to play with her. I get to be around her presence. Her energy is different. Like, she just make me a better player. She make me a better player, and that's what great players do.
I'll say something too. I think, Angel's one of the toughest people I've been around.
Facts.
People speak hate into her life. I've never seen people wish bad things on someone as much as her. And it does not affect her. She comes to practice every day. She lives her life every day. She lives how she wants to live. And she don't let nobody change that. And, that's the key to life right there. Y'all do not get to her. Let me say it again. Y'all do not get to Angel Reese. So you might want to give it up. Throw the towel in because you're wasting your energy. So Angel's one of the toughest people I've been around.
Angel, this question will be for you if you are willing to share what was going through your mind as you heard your two teammates right here on the dais, just taking the opportunity to really stand up for you and what your journey has been like that we don't get to see.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time.
Let me pause it right there, family, about the sexualization of Angel Reese. And people were stating because she did a Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition magazine. And don't forget, the young lady is 20 years of age, right? She's a superstar. And so a lot of these extracurricular activities was bringing in her, great amounts of cash, as she should. She's an athlete, right? And she's about to enter to the, enter. I don't know if she's entering into the draft for the WNBA, and she will get picked up. She's a very talented young lady. Okay. There's been hit pieces against her that, she wasn't even supposed to play the game because her grades wasn't up to par. And she even tweeted about that, stating, don't believe everything you read. So the media, ever since last year, because she was giving people that work, she was giving Caitlin Clark that work, they have been trying to attack her and tear her down and destroy her image for a very long time, family. For a very long time. And I'm just saying, sister, be strong. Don't let them see your tears. Don't let them see your tears. You got your teammates right there. You got some good white people on your side. All right. You know the grassroots is behind you, sis. Don't let them people see your tears. And I've seen all sorts of sports actually come out on her behalf. Even Caitlin Clark came out and spoke up for Angel Reese. We're going to cover that as well. So shout out goes to Caitlin Clark. Because here's the thing. When I first saw this family, when I first saw this battle, I thought it was just good fun, right? But as we noticed, it first started, right, with the whole LA Times piece. It started on the court with Caitlin Clark, and I know Caitlin Clark is with Iowa, I know, but it was just a lot of things going on at the same time. But it's the way that the fans took it. It's the way that the refs took it. Caitlin Clark was getting away with murder. She was running into people, throwing balls. Sometimes she got text, sometimes she didn't. But soon as Angel Reese did this, technical foul, taunting. I guess when you black, anytime you do something that a white person does, the way that other people see it is aggressive. I can walk down the street and a buddy of mine, white guy, let's say he's white, walking down the street, that black guy looks aggressive. I'm just saying, family, this is the way they see it. I don't know what they see that we don't see. It's amazing what world we still live in where everything is just racially charged.
And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want them to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship. And I said the other day, I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks. But I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything. And I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are, keep waking up every day, keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
Very, very powerful response from Angel Reese. But again, sister, don't let these people see your tears. They may try to villainize that like they do everything else. Now, some of this, surprised me from Jason Whitlock. It really surprised me. I'm gonna let you guys listen in on this. Fair use. All video clips used are for commentary and contextual to support the video.
And her lawyers preemptively threatened a lawsuit over the article, which I'm sure forced the Post editors to tone down the attack. But the gist of the attack remained. While a coach at Baylor, a religious university, Mulkey had the
sometimes, family, I'm just getting tired of this damn internet. I know you guys tired of it too, but stay tuned, okay? I'm gonna try to get an upgrade. Who knows what I'm gonna do.
Audacity to refuse to worship the LGBTQ alphabet mafia. She advised Brittany Griner and other homosexual players to keep their private lives private. Mulkey wasn't a fan of tattoos and constantly changing hair colors. She preferred her players to present themselves as women at all times and not as androgynous hoopers. Mulkey, without saying it, clearly believes there's only two genders. She patrols the sidelines in flamboyant, highly feminine outfits because she wants to make a statement that there is just as much strength in traditional femininity as the hypermasculine appearance of Griner and others. For all of this and more, Mulkey is demonized. How dare she not virtue signal support for Griner when Brittany Griner was incarcerated in Russia for an immature choice that Brittany Griner made to carry woke. And so, I love Caitlin Clark. She's made me pay attention to women's college basketball. Thank her for that. I'll be watching tonight because of her. But would it shock me if she folds, if she bows to the alphabet mafia and the whole left-wing crowd? If her group of handlers don't tell her, how much more money we could make if you just play along? Wouldn't be surprised at all. That's what all these athletes do. Kim Mulkey, that's a grown-ass woman. she's not going to fold. She's not perfect, but she's battle tested. I think Mulkey and the Tigers have a better chance at beating South Carolina than Iowa. And that's why I'll more than likely be rooting for Angel Reese and LSU tonight. Because Kim Mulkey's in it for the long haul. And this is a war. And that is not a shot at Caitlin Clark. She's a young person. She's a kid. Go out and get your money. Go out and have as much fun as you can have in the WNBA, which I don't know how much fun you can have, but do it. Maybe go to the Big Three, whatever. But Kim Mulkey, she's not perfect, but she's a warrior. And she's in it for the long haul. She's been fighting this group of leftist, deranged idiots her entire career. And she's sitting here right now.
And those were the remarks of Jason Whitlock. And you thought it was about Angel Reese, and it wasn't. It was about their white coach and how right and conservative she is. So, family, listen. I'm going to put things into context because there's a lot of black men who's come out against our sister Angel Reese. And your boy being one of them. Your boy being one of them. Now, this he published on his channel 4 months ago. And the reason why this is important, because he was all on board, right? He was all on board pro Angel Reese, calling out all the discrepancies in the media that they were making false claims about her. He was coming out against that. He was saying everything. And you were like, okay, Stephen A., usually you're a coon, usually you're a Sambo. But now you on code on this one particular thing. So I'm gonna refresh you guys' memory if you haven't seen this.
That's what she said. In defense of Angel Reese, let me tell you why that's incredibly important. Because there were people out there throwing out rumors that there was problems in the classroom. That's bullshit. First of all, we don't know that to be true, but the reason why I say it's BS and I call BS on it is because if she had academic issues, you knew that before halftime of Kent State. So why would you bench at halftime, okay, for the second half of the game, but let her play the first half if it was an academic issue? Clearly, that's not what's going on here. I'm speculating. I do not know, but it's time that I stood here and just gave a closing comment about Angel Reese. I want you to know something, Angel Reese, and this message is directly for you. You are an absolutely wonderful, marvelous, young black lady. You made us proud last year. You continue to make us proud even now. You're a national champion. You're a first-team All-American. You win 6 straight games in the NCAA tournament, averaging a double-double. You did it all. And then look at how it paid off for you. You see all of these photos that I'm showing up here, throwing out the first pitch for the Baltimore Orioles, showing up everywhere, being a woman about town because that's what champions do. Let's not forget the NAL valuations. You made about $1.7 million, okay? And just to give it some stats out there for everybody to watch, let's go down the list of the top-notch individuals in the world of name, image, and likeness and who profited off of it. You got Bronny James, LeBron's son, at $5.9 million. You got Shedeur Sanders, primetime Deion Sanders' son, the star quarterback at Colorado, at $4.5 million. Okay, you've got this girl, Livy, at $3.3 million. Livy Dunn from LSU, she's a gymnast, at $3.3 million. Arch Manning, okay, a member of the Manning family, now a quarterback at Texas, tied with Caleb Williams of USC at 4th at $2.8 million. You got Travis Hunt at the 6th spot at $2.2 million. And then you got Angel Reese at $1.7 million. That is what she earned with name, image, and likeness. So couple that with the 5.2 million social media followers that she has. Look at all the brand deals that she has. Coach, Amazon merch, McDonald's, Sparkling Ice, Xfinity, Outback Steakhouse, Discord. These are all the deals she has while she's a college student. Well, here's the problem with that. And Angel Reese, I hope you're listening to this. Notice that your popularity and your celebrity is elevated. So much so that you decided not to go to class anymore on campus. You'll take your courses online because the popularity was so extreme, it was getting in the way of your studies. That's basically what you told folks. Having said all of that, if it got in the way of your studies, I ask a simple and respectable question. What else did it get in the way of? Why would the coach of a reigning defending national champion who you helped win the national championship? Remember when you was throwing up your finger to Caitlin Clark at Iowa in the national championship game? Remember when you were doing all of that? Remember when you were the woman about town thereafter? Remember when you was wearing that braggadocio on your sleeve? Remember all of that? Is it possible that because of the fame, the celebrity, and the newfound dollars that came into your coffers, that all of that changed, and with it, there was a slight change in you? And the coach noticed and said, okay, I have to do something about this. We don't know.
All of this is speculation, family. Like he said, he doesn't know, but here's the problem with media and people who are very influential like Stephen A. People who got a lot of followers. We understand that people watch First Take. Millions of people watch it every day. He has 608,000 subscribers. So there's many people who are love or hate watching or just love his commentary on sports, but they're listening to him. So he's going into the narrative of combating what the newspaper was saying, that the reason she shouldn't have been playing the game is because her grades fell. And then he goes on to state, looks like he's in support of her. Then he changes his narrative in perspective. Oh, maybe this and maybe that. And we don't know. And then after this whole debacle, with Iowa State, LA Times, here's your boy Stephen A. again.
Damaging and as bad as this was, it would have been significantly worse if it came from a neutral publication or a national publication. If the USA Today or somebody like that did it, it would resonate even further. Here's the reason why. The Los Angeles Times, you know who they're rooting for.
Yeah,
the home paper.
of course.
So you root for the home paper. You see what I'm saying? And so if you get an opportunity to paint somebody as the villain while you're pristine and you're like the dove flying in the sky and, nothing blemishes you, you can understand what their intent was, but they went too damn far and they made that mistake. And not absolving the Los.
But you are absolving the Los Angeles Times. Even the writer, even the writer stated, that he now understands. He said, I use metaphors that were not appropriate. Our society has to deal with so many layers of misogyny, racism, and negativity that I can now see why the words I use were wrong. It was not my intent to be hurtful, but I now understand that I terribly missed the mark. And Stephen A. is out here batting for his white paymasters and stating, oh, it was just the USA Times coming against the basketball team. Stephen A., you know damn well this was about race. And I'm surprised Shannon Sharpe didn't chime in, but I'm not surprised that Shannon Sharpe didn't chime in. If you notice, when it comes to the race thing, Shannon Sharpe was perfectly fine with when he was on Undisputable with Skip Bayless. But when it comes to Stephen A., the one who gave him a second opportunity, which he really didn't need Stephen A., as you notice, Club Shay Shay and the nightcap has been blowing up. He really didn't need that. But nonetheless, I'm surprised that Shannon Sharpe didn't come out and say anything. But I'm not surprised he didn't come out and say anything, because it was Stephen A., the person who gave him another opportunity in mass media. But this is no surprise for people who have been watching Stephen A. for years. He's always at the bat for his white paymasters. He even said, oh, whatever the boss tell me to do, I'm going to do it. Yes, a boss. Whatever the boss tell me to do, I'm going to do it. Yes, a boss.
No, what is that? I got him down here. Oh, police got him. Yeah. What did it do?
I would have been so swallowed up? Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming?
Let me tell you, Stephen A. does a lot of swallowing. That's all I'll tell you, family. That's all I'll say.
Angeles Times in any
course.
way.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying all of us would receive it even more fiercely had it come from a neutral
exactly.
publication.
Yeah.
I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take.
We're going to wait for that one, family. We're going to wait for that. We're going to go back to that one. We're going to go back to that one, family. We're going to go back to that one. I was going to point out some things about Caitlin Clark, how a lot of things as they're labeling her America's sweetheart and some things. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that here. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I do want to show. Let me see if I can get there. Give me a second, family. I want to show you how Caitlin Clark, how she kind of spoke up for Angel Reese. Let me show you guys this video very quickly. Give me a second here. Here we go. And this is Caitlin Clark, the star basketball player for Iowa State. I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. Caitlin Clark said she thought Angel Reese received too much backlash for her celebration during the championship game. Listen in.
You know, one of the things people talk about is race as a component of this. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. No matter which way it goes, she should never be criticized for what she did. I'm just one that competes, and she competed. So I think everybody knew there was going to be a little trash talk in the entire tournament. It's not just me and Angel. So, I don't think she should be criticized. Like I said, LSU deserves it. They played so well. And like I said, I'm a big fan of hers.
That was good. She said she shouldn't be criticized, even though she kind of deflected from the question because the reporter here was stating that that they turned it racial, and she shouldn't be criticized. She shouldn't be criticized at all about this. This is about basketball. Two people going at it, and they made it racial. That's basically what I got from that. Okay. She didn't speak powerfully, but she spoke up for her. She said she shouldn't be, and I'm not surprised, family. I'm not surprised. These are just women athletes going at it. Whether it be the NBA or college basketball teams, you got some teams that are majority black, some teams are majority white, and then you have a mixture of teams, but you just don't get this. You just don't get this. This really, really started, okay? This really started that championship game when Reese did like this. And like she said, since then, she's been receiving death threats. She's been sexualized. She's been called all sorts of names. They've been demonizing the LSU basketball team. And family, it is what it is. It's about race. It's always been about race. And they'll always tell black folk, you guys are always bringing up race. You're making everything racial. You guys make everything racial. We just call it out. We just call it out, family. Now we're going to touch on your boy, Emmanuel Immigrant Acho. Listen to this. And this is, again, Stephen A. at his attempt to reclaim his image.
Angel Reese, you can't be the big bad wolf and then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you're self-proclaimed to be the villain. End quote. I think that's a bit excessive. Like Emmanuel Acho, got mad respect for him, but we don't have to always agree. I think that when you take into account the fact that this is a young lady, yes, she did wear the villain role.
And by the way, family, Acho's an immigrant. Stephen A. comes from an immigrant background. It's no surprise why they get along together, but he's going to call him out on this particular piece, whatever.
Role on her sleeve, no doubt about that. She didn't do a lot to help herself when she was winning the NCAA championship last year against Iowa, and she was taunting Caitlin Clark. We saw that. But did we forget that Caitlin Clark had been doing the same thing to numerous opponents throughout that season last year? That it wasn't until she was humbled in that national championship game against LSU that she dialed it back a little bit? Where were you then, Emmanuel Acho? Where was everybody then? I'm not calling you out per se, Emmanuel Acho, because you're big time talent. I got a lot of respect for you. You know I love your brother who works with me on First Take on ESPN during my day job. But the bottom line is that when you look at Angel Reese, it's not like she didn't have a point. Now, Emmanuel Acho is not totally wrong. You can't want to be the villain. You can't pride yourself in being the villain, and then you lose, and all of a sudden you succumb to those emotions. That is true to some degree. But usually when you lose and you have an opportunity to sit back and reflect.
I don't know if I can do it, family. I don't know if I can get through it. I don't know if I can just get through the slander of it all. It's such BS on Stephen A. It's such BS on Stephen A. This is a young lady we're talking about. And the only reason why she stated herself the villain is because they called her the villain. She said, I'll take that. I'll be the villain. Like I told you before, they label black people as monsters. They label us as thugs and gangsters. And we're like, okay, I'll be your thug. I'll be your nigga. You want me to be your nigga? I'll be your nigga. I'll be your thug. I'll be your gangster. I'll be your villain. I'll be evil. I'll be the Louisiana hot sauce. She was trying to... And see, here's the thing, family. A lot of people tune into these people because they give these massively intelligent breakdowns, and they're idiots. You know what? They're not idiots. They believe that you are idiots. They believe because you tune in and you listen to these people, and for some reason you gather up an ounce of respect for them because of their sports or media, a commentary or breakdown, that you're not going to see through their racism. You're not going to see for them being these white paymaster shields to protect the mass white media who's given them jobs and have paying them very, very well. And paying them very, very well. And Stephen A. Smith even said it. He said ESPN pays him very, very well. And he'll basically do whatever the boss tells him to do. He's doing whatever the boss tells him to do, even on his platform. And you don't understand that sometimes people just get fed up with the name calling. They say, okay, you want me to be that? Then I'll be that. I'll take the hit on that. You want me to be the villain? I'll be the villain. And that is the way that Angel Reese was talking. But evidently, Stephen A. Smith, and I'm not going to even say anything, oh my God, about Emmanuel Acho. We're going to get on that. We already know where these people are coming from. These are your usual suspects here, family. These are your usual top dancing Sambos. Stephen A. Smith and Emmanuel Acho. And there's been a lot more people to come out. Jason Woodlock, first, as though you're thinking in support of Angel Reese, no. Officer Tatum, no. These are the people that you guys tune into and listen to about their anti-black racism against their own people. But don't forget, a lot of these people are first and second generation tethers, first, second generation immigrants who are anti-black against foundational Black Americans. Family, look it up. I'm not just speaking out in conjecture. I'm not just trying to give you propaganda for you to run with. No, this is the truth. Look at these people's backgrounds and see how they talk about black folk, just like your Candace Owens. Oh, she's very intelligent. You guys are not even seeing through the racism. Royalty says Stephen A. is sad as... I don't know if I can say that. I didn't say so much on this channel. But yeah, family, this is how they do. This is how they do. And they understand that this is a racially charged country. Okay. That's what they're not understanding here. This is a racially charged country because Angel Reese is a powerhouse on the court. And she's been making all sorts of waves with her exceptional skills and her determination. But what happens when a young black woman achieves success? All of a sudden, it raises people's eyebrows, does it not? The vultures of the mass media swoop in seeking to tear down anything that we are doing positive. Because that LA Times piece, you know, Ben Bosch, he was just wielding their pen like a dagger aimed at the heart of integrity in their hit piece against this young lady and her team. See, they didn't just criticize Angel Reese, right? They went for the juggler, attacking her character, her upbringing, her worth as an athlete. And they just kind of, you know, described it as the LSU basketball team. But you know what this is about? This is bigger than Angel Reese. This is bigger than the LSU basketball team, because Angel Reese represents the fear and resent a Black woman defying the odds, shattering stereotypes, and claiming her rightful place in the spotlight. Oh, they hate when you tall, beautiful, and successful. Oh, Lord. And you're not a Sambo Okun. They hate that. Because instead of celebrating her achievements, family, they seek to undermine her, to remind her and others like her of their so-called place in society. How dare you go against America's sweetheart, Caitlin Clark? And I have nothing against Caitlin Clark, and I'm not speaking down about Caitlin Clark, because as I showed you before, family, Caitlin Clark came out and spoke up for Angel Reese. But this is what they labeled the two. Because the LA Times conveniently omitted crucial details about Angel Reese's journey. They didn't tell you the backstory. They didn't tell you her struggles and her triumphs. They didn't tell you that. They painted a very distorted picture, one that serves the agenda, of the marginalization and oppression of Black people go through each and every time. That's what's going on, family. Everything is racially charged, but they keep telling what this racism, there's no white supremacy, there is no racism in America. Didn't Candace Owens say that? And a lot of you in the comment section were like, Candace Owens, I respect her. She's very intelligent, very smart. But then you have people like Emmanuel Acho, Stephen A., and you guys have been looking up to them, right? And some of them are looking at them for intelligent voices in the Black community. But we understand they're using their platforms to tear down our own people, to pit us against one another, to pit us against the dominant society with these twisted narratives. On one side, you feel as though they're taking up for Angel Reese, and at the same time, tearing the sister down. This is what they've been doing. This is what they've been doing, family. Listen in.
There's a mountain of emotions that get heaped on your shoulders, and it's hard to hold it in. Not to mention when teammates are coming to your defense because they realize how the insults against you have been so personalized by adults who have nothing to do with the game. They do nothing but play the role of spectators. And these adults who are supposed to set shining examples act as belligerent as children do at times. That's the kind of heat that Angel Reese was taking. Now, one of the things that we can't ignore, that part of the reason it was tough for Angel Reese when they lost Monday night is because LSU got their asses handed to them. Excuse my language, but it is necessary in this particular situation. Caitlin Clark gave it to them. Dropped 41, 9 of 18 shooting from three-point range, 9 of 20 to be exact. I'm sorry. And by the way, she put on an absolute show. She came out shooting from the logo and took it to them. She was clearly the best player on the court and bust their living, you know what. So when you get it handed to you the way LSU got it handed to them, I'm sorry. That is a lot to absorb. It really, really is. Butt whippings, that'll do that to you sometimes. But it doesn't mean that what Angel Reese was subjected to since winning the national championship last year was justifiable. Some of it is excessive. We know what kind of a cruel society that we live in. And I think that although it's
too much back and forth for me, family. it's really, I don't know if that goes for you. Is it's too much back and forth for me. It's too much. You don't know if you don't know if a lot of these people are picking her up, supporting her, helping her out, or tearing her down. You just don't know. That's why when it comes to certain topics, and listen, you can't listen to this guy. And you sure can't listen to this guy.
If you want to say, well, Acho, cater your take based upon gender, Acho, cater your take based upon race, I will understand that. But I'm about to give a gender neutral, racially indifferent take. Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog.
He called this lady a dog. I'm done, family. I'm gonna keep it moving, family. I'm gonna keep it moving. Because I want to hit on some things here very quickly to cover with you guys. Just so you guys who are just tuning in. The abuse Reese have received has spread far beyond insults from talking heads, which were bad enough last year. Fake AI nude photos, and this is where the sexism come in at. They made AI nude photos of Reese were circulated online. Social media has been flooded with anti-Reese hate speech. And this is really anti-Black hate speech. They just using Angel Reese as a proxy to speak about Black folk. For most of the season, the star has stayed relatively quiet about it, pushing through to an All-American level season and leading her team to the Elite Eight. Reese has acknowledged and accepted the antagonist role she was given. You see what I'm saying? She accepted the role that the hate speech has given her, and she stated, I'll take the villain role because that is the way they were labeling this young lady. I'll take the hit for it, but I know we're growing women's basketball. I just wanted this because they keep saying that, oh, she took ownership of the villain, and that is because she was taken on with the hate speech we're stating that she is. Just like any person who's been beaten and battered constantly just because they won a national championship against a white team. This is ridiculous. This is about race. This is race-based, okay? Then the LA Times writer, sorry, we went over that, okay? And if you guys just tuning in once again, do you prefer America's Sweetheart or as Dirty Debutantes? Milk and Cookies or Louisiana Hot Sauce? How people don't see that as being racial? I guess maybe they haven't lived in America. And this is all over them winning last year Division I NCAA women's basketball title. And I showed you before, when you look up Dirty Debutantes, all your favorite porn sites. All your favorite porn sites. Wow. But they'll tell Black folk that everything is not racial. They'll tell us that everything is on the up and up. That's what they'll tell us, family. We have to take back our narrative. And we need to have more people, not just to speak a good word, but to do a good word and call out racism each and every time that we see it, each and every time that we hear it. Because you don't want to end up like an Emmanuel Acho. You don't want to end up like a Stephen A. And some of you like, oh, they're rich. Yeah. They sold out their entire race for the bag. Because I'll tell you this, I just got to show this.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, BP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't Black.
They don't have.
I wonder who Stephen A. Smith and Emmanuel Acho are voting for. I mean, I'm really trying to figure out if they're voting for him. You ain't black.
Pastor
or,
Mark Burns. Mark, where are you? Where's Mark Burns? He's a great guy. Good. These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. But I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones. You see? That's how.